very few things really are on par with what is J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings universe. One of those things happens to be the Star Wars universe, because the extended universe has literally thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of characters. Over the years since Star Wars came into existence, we have explored hundreds, again, maybe thousands of planets. Knowingly, the galaxy has billions, because every galaxy out there has billions of planets and stars in it. Let's not get down to the nitty-gritty about how planets can't really exist in the core, in the deep core, because of the star brightness and the black hole. It's sci-fi. It doesn't always have to make complete logical sense. And it's escapism. You watch and play and read and do all these things with Star Wars or Lord of the Rings because you want to get away from the real world for a little while, go off into some fantasy. And that's all good and fine. But the thing about Star Wars was that for me, as a young kid, I watched Episode 5 as my first movie. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was too little to really know what was going on. I'm not going to explain why in this video, but Han Solo really annoys the fuck out of me, and he still does. So I was utterly bored with his scenes, all of them. Darth Vader, obviously, is a little kid. Darth Vader was my friggin' hero, and it wasn't until I got older that I was like, oh god, he's a real asshole, isn't he? And then I think I watched Episode 6 at my friend's house, and then I didn't see New Hope for a long time. Something about New Hope always drove me away. I don't know what it was. I think, that little kid mentality, if it's an old movie, it must suck, but it's just because the picture looks maybe kind of grainier or stuff like that, and I think that's where my mind went. So the next movie I watched after 6 was Episode 1. And I was watching Episode 1 before 2 came out, Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. And as a little kid, I friggin' loved Phantom Menace. And you know what? I'm not ashamed to say I still like it. Do I love it? I mean, no. If I had a choice, do you want to watch Phantom Menace or do you want to watch Fellowship of the Ring? I mean, I'd watch Fellowship of the Ring. But if I'm being completely honest, if I'm being honest with you, if I'm being honest with myself, what do you want to watch? Do you want to watch Return of the Jedi or Phantom Menace? I would pick Phantom Menace. Empire Strikes Back, Attack of the Clones. Honestly, you're all gonna fucking claim I am a frickin' pariah anyway, so screw it. I'd rather watch Attack of the Clones. Would I rather watch Empire Strikes Back or Phantom Menace? Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith. I am a prequels fan. I respect and think there's plenty of good things about the original movies. However, I don't defend them to the very core because everything in those movies are not perfect. Some of the acting is stilted. Some of the subplots are just really dumb. Everything with Darth Vader is pretty much fine. It feels adult. It feels good. You all can blame George Lucas as much as you want. Episode 6 has some pretty kiddie fucking bullshit with the Ewoks, okay? You know what? Ewoks annoy the fuck out of me even more than Gungans do, okay? Yeah, Gungans, I hate Jar Jar. I don't like the Gungans. But you know what? The Ewoks are even more fucking annoying. Because teddy bears brought down a galactic empire. And how pathetic are the stormtroopers? I mean, really. How pathetic are the fucking stormtroopers? More droids killed more Jedi than the stormtroopers probably killed Jedi in totality. And I'm talking about you fucking clones. Droids probably killed more fucking Jedi. I'm not talking about like Revenge of the Sith where they stormed the temple. They were basically stormtroopers at that point, but no one is freaking arguing that stormtroopers are good, villainous henchmen / army units. I mean, the droids had flexibility. They were made in mass quantity, and they had interesting designs like the droidicas, the super battle droids, even the B-1s, even though they're kind of dumb sounding. You can blame Clone Wars for how dumb the B-1s are, but in the movies, for the most part, except for their squeaky ass voices, the B ones are just supposed to be like, that whole allegory for just machine soldiers acting, moving on just pure order. They don't think, they don't feel. And I mean, that's the whole thing of droids. But again, clones are pretty much organic droids because they don't fucking think. And you know what? Even if they do feel, they don't give a shit because if the Palpatine said do it, just do it. I'm not here to fight on behalf of the droids versus the clones. I'm just saying I have always respected the prequels because not only do they have value to me from my childhood, but I genuinely find some things in there to enjoy. But of course, that makes me the bad guy because the original fanboys, the original trilogy fanboys, the ones who hate the prequels with utter passion, yet would go and watch every single one of the movies because fuck you, they don't have to explain why. They're the reason why when Disney acquired Star Wars, they decided that they wanted to just be rid of the extended universe. Now, okay, you're going to say, well, what the fuck does the extended universe do with the prequels? I'll tell you. The extended universe began long before the prequels, but the extended universe was not arrogant enough to just ignore the fucking prequels when they came out. Disney was sitting there listening to all the loudest, squeakiest wheels on the fucking bus, and the squeakiest wheels get all the fucking attention, and they would do nothing but to cry and hate and venomously spit at the freaking prequel so much that Disney was like, oh, that's the way to do it. We have to follow up episode 6 and go along that very same linear path and carry on with these same old tired ass characters. But you know what? We'll introduce our own characters so that maybe we can go into another direction when we feel like it. Now, the reason that has something to do with the extended universe is because Disney could have picked any spot in the extended universe. Any spot. They could have fucking said, we're gonna go fucking 1,000 years into the future as I flail my arm where you can't even see it. They could go 1,000 years into the past, because you know what? There's not a lot known about that back then. And you know, if they would have changed a couple things in the history, but said overall, yeah, the EU is still there. We're not gonna mess with it. Maybe I would have been fine. Like any nerd, I would have nitpicked, why do you have to change this or that? But overall, knowing that my universe still matters and is still there and is still something for me to enjoy and be active in would have given me a little bit of a hope. And no, Disney does not make good freaking live action movies. You're smoking crack if you think otherwise. Lone Ranger, the Pirates of the Caribbean sequels, and with John Carter. Yeah, you're lying to yourself more than you're lying to me if you say Disney makes good live action movies. So, Disney said, alright, fuck it, clean slate, let's get rid of all that extended universe. Oh, don't worry, guys, it's gonna be, quote, Legends. And Legends is not that, well, these events didn't happen, they just may have happened, but they're so old that the legends have, come up around them, and this is an interpretation of the legend. What the fuck kind of convoluted idea is that? It's the same thing as DC. And comic books have this. They have multiple universes, and that's fine. It works for comic book universes, even if you put it into a movie or a TV concept, because you can say, oh, don't worry, it's just another universe. And you know what? People have gotten used to that. That's fine. But it'd be like if DC had two universes, like the main universe, the main DC universe, and then another universe they just called, like, Universe X or something. If they do have that, not the same one, but just one made up. And they said, oh, we're sorry for all you people who like the main DC universe, but we're going to create this new one. Now, all the things that happened in the original DC universe, yeah, they may still have happened when we decide that they happened. Fuck you if you think they happened. Fuck you if you thought they had any importance, and fuck you if you liked them, because we're going to take characters, ideas, situations, conflicts, and we're going to fucking cherry pick them and put them into our new universe in different names, with different characters, different contexts, but the same principles, ideas, and methods. Now, what I mean by this is, like, if you don't think this is already happening, just go watch Jen Sare's recent video, the one between Vodosius Bass versus that Twi'lek Jedi Master I never heard of before. Wow. Where he literally has a side-by-side where it's the Inquisitor from Rebels, fuck Rebels, and Jarek. If you don't know who Jarek is, go look him up on Wikipedia. He was basically the apprentice of Jocasta Nu, the old lady Jedi librarian from Episode 2, and he became a Dark Jedi Inquisitor under Palpatine, and he was in the Kyle Katarn game, and he was the one who absorbed the Valley of the Jedi power and tried to go all super duper Palpatine evil. He was killed by Kyle Katarn. Back to the point though. Jen Sari said, here's the Inquisitor, here's Jarek. He didn't say it, but he had a picture of him. And then he had one of the stupid Rebels duo, the fucking cowboy Jedi asshole, and his Twi'lek fucktard bitch you know who's going to be his romance interest at some point, okay? And no, I don't care if I'm cursing too much. And then you have fucking, I think his name is Jax Paven. I may be wrong, but I know who he is, and then his Twi'lek. And they're the same goddamn concepts. They just have different names, and they're in different situations, but they're in the same fucking timeline. They have different fucking names, and they're maybe in different situations, but eventually they're going to be in situations that those old characters are already in. So what you're buying into with the new Star Wars universe are old situations, old concepts, old wars, things that have already happened or could have happened, well, not could have happened, but have already happened, did happen, and were rinsed, recycled, and repeated. That's why Legends was losing some of its bang, was because it had already done so much. Disney has nothing new to give you. They're not going to come up with some wacky, new, crazy, awesome idea. We've all seen the concept art of the new main villain in the new movies. He's a fucking cyborg. Wow. Wow. Star Wars has never done cyborg, dark, evil guy before. Oh, wait a minute. There's two prominent ones, and then in the same universe, there's fucking millions of them. Great. You guys are so fucking original. I mean, on a normal day in Star Wars, I would not be impressed, but I would at least give it the benefit of a doubt because, there's lots of cyborgs in Star Wars and plenty of them are cool. But when Disney comes to me and says, oh, we want to give our writers freedom of expression of ideas and allow them to do whatever the fuck, and they just recycle old garbage, you're going to tell me you couldn't keep the Extended Universe around because you wanted to put in old, fucking worn-out shit? Oh, but we gave you a lightsaber with a crossguard. Fuck your crossguard. You know what? It's not even that big of a problem. There have been crazy shit in Star Wars Extended Universe with lightsabers. I mean, have you ever seen a picture of what's that asshole's name? I think his name is, I can't remember his name, but he's basically like little lightsaber fucking blades coming out of like these little ports on his arms and shit. He looks really stupid because he's like, the armor looks like metallic Yuuzhan Vong armor, and that's what he was going for, and it's got like little lightsaber blades coming out everywhere. It's really dumb looking. Okay? So dumb shit has happened in the Extended Universe. Fuck the crossguard. Yeah, it looks a little fucking stupid, and you know what? There have been pictures online of people saying, look, here's a better fucking way to do it. But I'm not even going to talk about that because that is the extent of the new content they have offered you so far, and you're all buying into it. A different lightsaber design. Why hasn't it been done before? Because maybe everyone else thought, crossguard, I don't know, it doesn't work for me. If a light whip sounds more probable to most Star Wars authors than a fucking crossguard does, then something's maybe wrong with the crossguard. But I digress. I don't give a shit. It astounds me that people who said, oh, the prequels are unoriginal and I wholly admit the prequels have problems. I just don't fucking dwell on them like a fucking, like the people who bitch about Xbox or PS4, which one is better, Xbox One or PS4, get the fuck over it. You know, I don't sit here all day and dwell on, oh my God, this is why this annoys me so much, so badly, because God, it's the worst wretched thing ever. You know what? I get pretty pissed off. But you know what? I don't spit the kind of venom I have been spat upon by people who love the originals but think the prequels are garbage. And I've had enough, and that's why I'm making this video. Because no one else is. No one else will. I don't sit here and I don't belittle the originals because I don't like them as much. I don't sit here and nitpick the originals for all the things that they have admittedly wrong with them. Admittedly, wholly and upfront. Just go watch the fucking Nostalgia Critics video about the things prequels did right, because he even says, oh yeah, because the originals always had top-notch acting. Holy shit. Maybe I didn't want to watch New Hope because I saw some trailers online and saw just how bad some of the dialogue was. But again, I'm not picking on it. I wouldn't pick on it. I like those fucking movies. I like them. I accept the prequels for what they are. I accept the freaking originals for what they are. And then the extended universe was a broader, and some even argue, like Jen Sari, some even argue a more lively and rich universe than the movies ever were. And you know what? Props to George Lucas, because he's the one who gave us the fucking universe in the first place. If he wants to do what he wants to do in his universe, I don't give a shit. It's the same concept of J.R.R. Tolkien writing Lord of the Rings. He wrote Lord of the Rings, he wrote the Silmarillion, whatever. If you don't know what those are, I apologize because this won't make sense to you. But, and then Peter Jackson makes the Lord of the Rings movies, and then like somebody else comes in to make another set of movies after Lord of the Rings, and they say, oh no, fuck the Silmarillion, that might have happened, but you know, we want people to have freedom to write whatever the fuck they want. Tolkien fans, unlike Star Wars fans, at least would have the fucking balls to go out there and go, fuck you. Because Tolkien fans are crazy, okay? That's one thing. Star Wars fans are a little more fair weather, where, you know, you got your fans, and then you got your fans. I'm probably in the middle. I mean, I'm like, not gonna fucking draw blood for Star Wars, but I'm not gonna, you know, go, oh yeah, I'm a fan. Have you read any of the books? No. I've read books, I've read comics, I've played games. I know plenty. I forget plenty of things too. I'm not a fucking databank or database of fucking Star Wars information. I'm human. Excuse me. It's the same concept of them doing that with Star Wars, except Star Wars fans are willing to accept it because it's the hardcore fans of the originals. Yes, I am calling you out, the hardcore fans of the originals who hated the prequels with venom. You know, plenty of people, even Tim, has said that a lot of his, or not maybe a lot, but several of his friends, and he's heard it more, that as people have gotten older from where they were, and they stopped being whiny fanboys, they started to either say, oh, you know, prequels, yeah, they weren't that bad. Yeah, they're not as good as the originals, in their opinion, which they're free to have, but they're not as bad. You know, it's really bad. I was in a restaurant a couple of months back, and out of the blue, these meatheads, I mean, they're real muscly meatheads working behind the counter, nice people, meatheads who look like they play sports and watch sports and fucking, you know, fratty kind of boys, but they were nice. And out of the blue, one of them goes, what did you think of the prequels, to his friends? I was eating. And it's the Star Wars prequels. And they're all like, oh, you know, they weren't that bad. I enjoyed them. They were enjoyable movies. How the fuck are casual people, meathead motherfuckers who look like they think anything nerdy is fucking stupid, are going to sit there and be like, oh, the prequels aren't as bad as everyone says they are. But fucking nerds who have no game whatsoever are going to tell me that the prequels are shit? Well, what? You're going to go watch Battlestar Galactica and then play your Star Trek game or whatever? I mean, that's a caricature. But I'm just saying, how are fans of the universe more disgusted with the prequels than casual fans are? Now, I'm sure someone's going to argue, oh, casual fans don't get it. They don't understand. Oh, my God. They're not the ones sitting there bitching about the Chosen One prophecy shit, the midichlorians, whatever. How is it I can accept the midichlorians and integrate it with the original mythos. But the minute someone hears midi-chlorians who doesn't like the prequels, are like, oh, God, it's science. It's all science. Fuck that religious shit. Oh, George Lucas just got rid of his own fucking mythology. No, he didn't. It's like if someone discovered neutrinos and then immediately said, oh, therefore God can't exist because of neutrinos. I mean, sure, scientists can make their own arguments against God. I'm not going to say one way or another. But if you just accept that face value, that's your problem. That's not anyone else's problem. That's your fucking problem. You had a very viable character in the first Star Wars movie in Qui-Gon who believed in a living, not breathing, but living, conscious force. It was basically God. I mean, he was essentially saying he believed the Force was a God, the God. Essentially. I mean, you can interpret it your own way. Whereas other Jedi just thought that it was like a binding power through the universe, more Buddhist, I guess. I don't know. I just... It annoys me that I can accept that. I can integrate that. Because to me, midichlorians are nothing but a scientific evidence to the Force's existence. Star Wars has a religion that is provable. Because the midichlorians, to me, they connect the person with the Force. And it's been proven time and again, even with Obi-Wan, he had nothing for midichlorian count, but he became one of the best Jedi in history. Midichlorian count does not automatically make you better or weaker than anyone. If you have a higher amount, your natural connection is stronger, yes. But if you don't hone it, you don't use it, you don't practice it, you just let it raw and you leave it uncontrolled, then it's the same thing as a fucking baby having midichlorians and just being like, oh, fuck. Power's exploding from my fucking baby hands. Holy shit. God. And in regards to the extended universe again, I'm getting a little caught up here and a little flustered. The extended universe, I can guarantee you, without a doubt, it's going to get a little tiring after a while. Maybe not. Maybe you're so much of a fanboy that you won't give two fucks. If it's new with Star Wars, new in quotations, you'll buy into it. Fuck everyone else. I mean, you're the type of person who, no offense, you're the type of person who can maybe accept multiple universes of one mythos and be like, okay, I'll buy more into this one, then maybe casually read that one, whatever. That's not me. Why the fuck am I going to invest time to read into a character, get to like a character, and want to see where they progress, like with Ben Skywalker, Mara Jade, even though she's not my favorite character in the universe. Fucking Darth Krayt, for all he was good for. I mean, like, for all you Revan fanboys, he's not coming back. Just so you know, they're not fucking bringing Revan back. And if they do bring him back, oh boy, I hope Disney brings him back. But I digress. Why do I invest time and effort into these characters and situations if there are multiple universes and I can tell Disney wants to do that, where they just want to say, fuck you, it's not going to be one or two universes, it's going to be 3, 4, 5, we're going to come up with our own shit. And why do I care about one character from this universe who dies if in universe B they're alive, fine, kicking, and universe C they're evil, and universe D they're like kind of the same as they were in universe A? And that's comic books. Some people enjoy that. I don't. I want one universe, one consistent line that tells me here's how things progress throughout the mythos of this universe. It's the same thing with J.R.R. Tolkien. This happened, that happened, this happened, that happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. No, it wasn't maybe it happened, maybe it didn't happen. Tolkien told you what the fuck happened. And yeah, George Lucas and the extended universe, but he knew it was there. He didn't bother with it that much, because he was more confined to his like little sub universe of just the 6 movies, and he refused to make the 7th movie because essentially it was out of spite. You people, I'm not saying all my fucking people watching this, I'm saying the people who are original fanboys who cast in so much venom and hatred over the prequels. He said, he told somebody, I forgot what it was, an interview, why am I going to put myself through that kind of hate and venom again to make something that he owned, that he created? Why is he going to go through and make more if the people who are buying into it, admittedly, still spending their fucking money like a bunch of dumbasses instead of holding it back like capitalism's supposed to do? You're allowed to not spend your money if you don't want to. Why is he going to make more if all you're going to do is, as fans, quote unquote, you're going to spit venom at him, you're going to call him the devil, you're going to call him Lucifer, the worst person on the planet, you're going to make fun of him, his personal life, his own fucking, his personal life. People attack him personally. You don't even know if the guy's an asshole or not. Oh, I mean, Disney just gave him $6 billion and he gave it all away to charity. Oh, God, what an asshole. What a fucking ass. You know, you people fucking annoy me. I am so done with original trilogy fanboys. I am so done. I have friends who like the originals, but when I bring up the prequels, they see my point of view. They know where I'm coming from. They're like, yeah, you're a prequels fan. They make fun of me. I make fun of them. That's fine. I'm talking about the hardcore, honest to God people who, the minute you mention the prequels, will go and fucking nuts off of why this doesn't make sense, why that doesn't make sense, why this doesn't make sense, why that doesn't make sense. Oh, I like Darth Maul. Oh, but Darth Maul's fucking gay. Oh, but I wish he was in the movie more. Oh, God, the only thing good about the prequels is the music. Yeah, because the music from the originals wasn't all that great. Yeah, the Imperial March. What other themes do you remember? What other themes do you remember? Oh, how many themes do you remember from the fucking prequels? More. Yeah, exactly. I just gave them a point, but whatever. I got lost in the miasma of anger. The prequels offered you not only a wider universe, because for one thing, I don't like sci-fi where the universe is confined and nothing and barren. Like, there are some sci-fi universes out there where, like, they go to, like, maybe a couple planets, but they look exactly the fucking same. There's nothing different about them. Oh, there's humans on all of them. There are some actors who... And I'm not saying like actors as in like universes. Like, I love it, but holy fuck did I get tired of them going to a new planet and seeing nothing but humans. Is Stargate SG-1 or even Stargate Atlantis. Everywhere they went, it was a new planet, and yet it looked like Vancouver. And there were humans with just different weird clothing on. They all spoke English, or at least most of them did. There's nothing there. It's the same goddamn place. They maybe filmed to the right or to the left of where they filmed last week. And when they did go out, it was interesting. And they made it work. But Star Wars is not a small fucking universe. There's supposed to be literally hundreds and hundreds of alien species out there. Disney will keep the ones that keep the confused teenage boys' pants tinted, alright? They'll keep the Twi'leks, they'll keep the Togrutas, they'll keep any of the other fucking aliens, they'll keep them, the teenage pubescent boys tantalized, okay? All the other ones can go fuck themselves. I can almost assure you the Red Sith are gone. After all, Darth Bane, according to the Clone Wars, the recent fucking show that, thank God, is over, declared that Darth Bane was not only essentially an emperor of some sort of wackadoo fucking Sith Empire from the world of Moraband, but he looks like a Fire Nation ripoff. Oh, and Mark Hamill voiced him. Oh, great, Mark. We're fucking... I appreciate your voice acting and acting abilities, Mark, but fuck you. Don't... If anyone out there is honestly a fan of Darth Bane and you accept that as new canon, don't talk to me. Just don't talk to me. Because that Darth Bane looks like, sounds like, and is garbage. He has a lightsaber pike that Clone Wars seems to assume you can just kind of fold lightsabers into whatever you want. They can be like a literally flat piece of metal. You can't do that. A lightsaber makes more practical sense. It's a beam of light. It has some sort of way of stopping itself from going on forever because it's a beam of light, and it looks like a fucking tube. That's what light should look like. A beam. Not a piece of metal. That's a little fanboy for me right there, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, fanboys, when the new movie... First of all, the new movie coming out now, Episode 7, I'm not gonna go see it. I refuse to spend my... See, I know how capitalism works. I know I don't have to spend money on something if I don't want to see it and if it pisses me off. And the new movies and the new universe piss me off. I don't want it. I don't have to buy into it. I'm not going to waste my money on it. I'm not going to waste anyone else's money on it either. You want to waste your money on it? Go right ahead. It's fucking free market, baby. That sounded awful. But what are you going to do? Because the new movie coming out, Episode 7, is directed by J.J. Fucktard Abrams. Fuck him. I don't care. He makes shit movies. You all just haven't caught up to that yet. Again, that's my opinion. I'm a little cranky. What are you going to do? Because he's making the next movie, and then the guy they have to make the next 2 movies. Mind you, they didn't keep Abrams on for the whole fucking trilogy. Okay, a studio is not that stupid. If a studio likes a director, they like the direction he's going in, they like his abilities, they like what he's doing, they will keep him on and make him sign a fucking contract. They got him to sign one. Something bad is going on behind the scenes between him and the studio. I can almost assure you that him and Disney are not getting the fuck along. And I don't know if Abrams being a fucking piece of shit because he's always wanted a Star Wars movie because he thinks he's the sci-fi god, and if he does Star Trek and Star Wars, therefore, oh my god, he'll be the greatest person on earth. Fuck you, man. Solve world hunger and then I'll fucking jack you off. They got the guy who made that movie a couple years back, Looper, to do the next 2 movies. They signed him on for the next 2 movies. Why? They signed it. And you know what that motherfucker said at a Comic-Con? That he found something beautiful or interesting about the prequels. So fuck you. They got a guy who almost basically said, I kind of like the prequels, to do the episode 8 and 9 of 7, 8, and 9. They only got Abrams to do fucking 7. And you know what? I've seen Abram fucktard in a History Channel documentary about the Star Wars universe talk about how episode 3 was really awing to him. So if you don't think he doesn't like the prequels on some deep level, guess he does. He just don't want to admit it. Especially now since he's got to appeal to all the fanboys of the original trilogy, all the men who should be in their, 30s, 40s, maybe even 50s? Oh, the new generation. Yeah, blame the new generation because little kids are honestly going to know a lot about the extended universe. I don't blame little kids. If they watch Clone Wars, they watch Rebels, and they like those TV shows. My philosophy is little kids should be allowed to like whatever the fuck they want and not feel patronized or hated on because they're little kids. When they're older and they look back at it and they realize what they watched was garbage, that's their own goddamn business. You can joke about it then with them. Don't patronize the little kids. Patronize the 40, 30, 50-year-old men who are still getting so heated about the prequels that they're the ones who brought about the whole extended universe being just fucking axed at the neck because they couldn't let it go. Ironic, because the fucking corporation that made Let It Go a fucking horrible thing to say bought the fucking universe. Fuck Frozen 2, by the way. Not Frozen 2, but you know what I meant. Wow. I mean, Disney's already fucking churning out the fucking new comic books, and oh my god, me and everyone at the Timpire, including Tim himself, one day were just on here and I was posting a bunch of links to bad cover art Marvel made for the new Star Wars comics. Oh my god, they ripped themselves off. There's a picture out there of a variant of the new Darth Vader comic book where he's just standing there looking at the front of the comic at you with his arm out, twisted upwards like that stupid like dictator type move where his arm is lifting up with the hand forward. appointed. And some guy online put it right next to a fucking Marvel comic of Magneto doing the exact same pose. They are exactly the same picture. Darth Vader has a bigger fucking muscled out brawny man chest than he's ever had. And it looks ridiculous. The new comics coming out that are focusing on Princess Leia. Okay, you know, Leia's not the worst character in Star Wars. She's not the best either. Fuck Han Solo. Please not literally, because he needs to die in a fire. Marvel has already degraded that character in my eyes more than anything Dark Horse ever did. Because you know what, Dark Horse can have its moments where it's like, oh, hey, look, fan service. I understand that. But they were not as blatant as Marvel is already being with Leia on some of the worst poses, with some of the worst facial designs I have ever. It doesn't even look like Carrie Fisher. It doesn't even look like a young Carrie Fisher or an older Carrie Fisher, although I'm not trying to be older. It doesn't look like Carrie Fisher from the fucking movies. It doesn't look like her at all. It just looks like they found some sort of swimsuit magazine, found some woman who kind of was hot in their eyes, brown hair, brown eyes, and say, oh, here, I'll make this Leia. And they don't give a fuck. I mean, Carrie Fisher, she gets royalties for every fucking likeness they use, so good for her. But for people who actually care about that character and how she looks and how she acts and how she's supposed to be, are going to look, should look, I should say, because most of you won't, should look at those covers and go, wow, they can't even get the art right. So they can't even get... I'm getting very mad. I need to calm down. I'm kind of sick right now. I've seen book covers for the Thrawn trilogy and for the Black Fleet Crisis books, where it was kind of basically Carrie Fisher, like a face they had of her taken from one of the movies, and they just kind of painted it. But you know what? Blatant copying of her face looks a lot better than someone trying to fucking make it themselves, because I guess no one, except for people on DeviantArt apparently, can draw Carrie Fisher's face right. Or let alone her body, because they have her in some of the worst girl fucking ass right before you fucking fan service pictures I've ever seen. Oh my God, they might as well just drop the fucking pretense, put her in the slave outfit again, and just make a whole fucking porn issue. Because that's all you care about. I'm not talking to you. People probably watching this or listening to it, because I'm not going to have much for you to watch. But I'm talking to people who won't watch this video because they don't want to hear my opinion. Because their opinion has already been made. They don't want to hear other people's arguments because, oh, if he's making that type of argument, he's an idiot, he's stupid. I listened to your arguments for years. Original trilogy purists. And you made me feel like shit for a lot of the years of my life for liking prequels. I had to hide the fact I liked the prequels from friends, from other Star Wars fans, because I knew I'd be treated like garbage. I am not kidding. I have had some of the worst insults hurled at me from purist fanboys in my whole life. I never gave them shit once. Now that I'm older, now I don't have to give a fuck about anyone else's opinion because I'm out of that school age, get along with everybody, be part of the herd type mentality. Fuck you. I'll like whatever the fuck I want. If I don't want to buy into your purist ideology bullshit that Disney is making, I don't have to. Because I know how the fuck the economy works. You don't spend money on it, enough people don't spend money on it, it won't be made. I can only hope. I know everyone's gonna go watch the fucking movie. I'm gonna be the only one out there who's gonna be like, hey man, what you think of the fucking new trilogy? I don't know. I didn't see it. Fuck it. Fuck it. I don't want to see it. Yeah, I'm nerding out right now. It's fucking nearly 1 in the morning. I'm sick. I got school tomorrow. I just decided to make this out of the fucking blue because I know I couldn't get any of the other guys on the fucking channel to help me make this, so fuck it. You're gonna get my purest opinion on it today. Again, I'm not mad at, I'm not trying to attack anyone who's watching this. I'm just cranky. That was me banging the table. Probably sounded awful with my recording software. You know, the Red Sith are gone. I can guarantee that. James Luceno, the asshole who wrote Plagueis, Tarkin, and some of the Yuuzhan Vong books. Fuck. Well, with Tarkin, the recent book, he makes all kinds of references to Plagueis, and, you know, he's trying to obviously fit Plagueis into the new universe. And in that, he's trying to, like, bring in things from the Legends continuity, like the Saber forms and references to Plagueis that automatically have to bring into account a variation of the Rule of Two that existed before, especially since Plagueis traveled to fucking Korriban, not Moraband, in Plagueis. But if you think James Luceno, an author of a book made under the fucking imperial hand that is Disney, is more canon in the new canon than their movies are, where they will likely blatantly ignore everything he said in that book if they feel like it, you're high on crack. You know, not a lot of people know this, but there were planets, there were alien species, titles, and names and shit that George Lucas took from the extended universe and put into the prequels. Yeah, he changed a lot. And especially, well, more with Clone Wars. I mean, like, he more mentioned things in the prequels. I'm not sure about Kashyyyk. I kind of think Kashyyyk was extended universe first, and then he put it in the prequels. I know for a fact Coruscant was made by Timothy Zahn, Coruscant, and George Lucas liked the idea enough that he made Coruscant the fucking capital. He took it from the extended universe and put it in there, automatically letting me know George Lucas knew the extended universe was out there, knew people were fans of it, and said, you know what, here, I'll throw you a bone. I'll tantalize you a little bit and go, hey, look, it's Coruscant. Holy shit, it looks pretty good with all that CGI. Because, god damn it, people who hate CGI so much expect George Lucas to build a full fucking planet of a city and put the camera on that city because, god damn it, CGI just makes everything look awful, doesn't it? Oh, kiss my ass. Yeah, because every movie that hasn't used CGI and has used models or some shit has always looked amazing. Shit. Like, I believe he actually named the Twi'leks because Twi'lek was the name given to them in the extended universe. I don't believe he came up with Seleucami, and Obi-Wan mentions Seleucami in episode 3. Fucking Boz Pity. Again, I think it was mentioned before the prequels. If I'm wrong about any of these, that's fine. I'm not going to get angry or combative with anyone, but I'm just trying to make a point that George Lucas at least understood on some level that an extended universe existed where Disney was just like, what? Oh, fuck that. I mean, when they were making the Tales of the Jedi comics dealing with the Sith Empire, with Naga Sadow, Mark Arachnos, the Red-Skinned Sith, the quote-unquote original Sith. Well, I mean, they were, but whatever. Well, I could get into why they were not really, but I'm not going to go there. The Red-Skinned Sith under Naga Sadow and Mark Arachnos, when those comics were being made, they actually had to send designs and plot lines and dialogue to Lucas because Lucas had a hand in picking what was and what was not right for his universe. He didn't like some of the early Sith designs because they looked way too Egyptian. They toned it back a little, made it a little bit like Egyptian Aztec mesh, and he accepted that. He accepted Mark Arachnos, he accepted Naga Sadow, he accepted the Red-Skinned Sith he accepted that as being where the Sith came from. Yeah, Clone Wars changed it. I could give a shit about Clone Wars. I'm not fully defending Lucas. I mean, he has changed things before that just pissed me off. But like I'm saying, at least he understood that something was there already. Where Disney saw something was there, shat on it, kicked it, killed it, and then threw it in your face. Oh, you know, it might have happened. Fuck you. I've already gotten over that. I'm starting to repeat myself. Shit. Moraband was such an unnecessary fucking thing anyways. I don't know if he was just high that day. I don't even know if George Lucas essentially really had all as much to do with that as people say he did. You know, there are creative teams behind cartoons, more than just one guy making all the decisions. I don't think they called George into every production meeting and said, yo, here's everything. Tell us what is and is not going to be. You cannot function that way. I'm sure George Lucas had more to do with his fucking day spending his money than he had sitting in some fucking department room on the Skywalker Ranch just going, oh yeah, this, oh fuck that, this, I mean, come on. Yeah, Dathomir, that whole thing was dumb, but you know what, you could ignore that. Honestly, most of the changes in Clone Wars are at least ignorable. Like, the people at Wikipedia tried really hard to fit everything in with the extended universe, and for the most part, they succeeded. I mean, the extended universe has always paid complete respect to the movies and to those cartoons. Like, with those books, again, I always forget what the fuck they're called, that dealt with Abeloth and the Lost Tribe of the Sith, and all that weird mystical garbage. They took the Force gods, the son, the father, and the daughter, and they brought them in, and they made Abeloth essentially some deformed quasi-demigod who was the mother. She was, like, not really their mother, obviously, but she was just, like, God in power. I mean, Star Wars was obviously right. They're trying a little too hard to be, like, really fantasy, and not, like, science fiction. I mean, I don't really like those books anyways, but I'm just saying. Well, what are you going to do? What are fans going to say when the Sith species is either retconned to be something else, maybe with some things taken from Legends? Maybe Darth Bane was just wearing a really dumb outfit coming to Yoda as a ghost, and he actually really looks like Bane. Or maybe he looks like a Red Sith, because fuck you, we don't give a shit about his actual Legends canon backstory. They're going to change that to where the Sith are kind of like the Jedi, where they weren't a species, they weren't a people, that's just the dumbass name they chose out of the blue, and they formed on some planet to kill Jedi because of some split that happened in the Order. Or they were a species, and they look a little different, maybe act a little different, they have a wholly different backstory. Revan's gone, Vitiat's gone, Marco Ragnos is gone, Naga Sadow is gone, Exar Kun is gone, the Exile is gone, the Sith Triumvirate are all gone, KOTOR, SWOTOR, NOTOR, it's all gone. You do not have that anymore. You are allowed to essentially look at those like the Bible. You can read it, you can think that literally happened, but we're going to probably say it didn't happen. And I'm not saying anything about religion, I'm just saying that's the way Disney has thrown this egg into our faces as. And if you think otherwise, that's fully within your right. But this is the way they shoved it into my face and presented it to me with the biggest middle finger I've ever gotten from a company personally. And I'm not the only one. I'm not saying I'm the only one who's been offended. Plenty of people have been offended. Plenty of people have been attacked because of their devotion to the extended universe and maybe to the prequels to some degree. Although George Lucas managed to, in all of his wisdom, and I say that without sarcasm, in all of his wisdom, put a stipulation in the contract selling Star Wars to Disney that they could not remake the prequels. They are bound by contract to not remake the prequels. So for all you die-hard fanboys of the original trilogy who make me sick, honestly you do, who thought in some warped vision in your mind that they would just shove all the prequels aside and remake them, they're not. I don't even think they want to. Because frankly, it's way too hard to go back and say, oh god, now I have to rewrite the whole story of how Darth Vader came to be Darth Vader, what bitch he fucked and got knocked up, and who the fuck is gonna play a young Obi-Wan the way Ewan McGregor did. I mean, come on. Really? You're gonna get rid of the old prequels because you don't want Hayden Christensen, who's not even that bad of an actor, to be. Oh my god. They ruined Star Wars. Oh my, get over it. Jesus fucking Christ. I swear, I don't know if I'm more hateful at Disney or the original trilogy fans for the situation I find myself in, especially since Disney gave all rights to Star Wars video games to the Satan, the great Satan of the world. It's not Muslims, it's not Christians, it's not Jews, it's EA. Fucking Electronic Arts. I mean, it's 1 a.m. and then you be quiet. You people realize it's EA who are going to be making all the Star Wars games from here on out, right? I mean, they won't do anything to you like day one downloadable content that costs $5 or make you pay $1 or $2 to get a gun that looks cool but is no better or any worse than the other gun. They won't make you pay money to get shit like a hero in the new Battlefront 3 or a map pack. Oh my god, the map packs are going to be so real. I mean, just look at SWTOR. That game is playable. It's like any MMO. The story is garbage and fuck all within Legends itself, but you know what? The gameplay's fine. Some of the story is fine. Most of it is garbage. But if you really want to enjoy that game, and I mean enjoy it and not slog through it because you kind of feel an obligation because you're kind of pumped up to play the game, you need to spend money on it. Because if you don't, you are screwed. And that is what EA, I mean, with like console games, they'll give you enough to where you're not screwed, but you're not having as much fun as the people who paid even more money for the game. Marvel's new comics all look like derp-faced morons, pieces of garbage. They've already referenced Lil Anakin in the Pod Racer, by the way, so you can't say prequels don't exist because they're already referencing it in the new comics. I can't give a shit. I mean, Rebels, from what I have heard from everyone who hasn't liked it, I mean, people who say they don't like it, I mean, people who say they do like it can express to me why they like it. I'm not going to change my opinion. But from people who said that they don't like it have told me that it is literally one of the most boring-ass shows they have ever watched. Like Jen Sari's recent video where he came out and said, you know what, at least Clone Wars, it had like a main kind of story that was going along and you could follow it and just kind of, you know, you took part. There was a story there was action. It kept you, it made you angry. Like it could make you angry. That means that you cared. Rebels, he said, couldn't even get him to care. And that's what I've heard from other people who don't like Rebels. They say it's boring, it is unwatchable because they just find themselves just not giving a shit about the new fucking idiot with the light fucking sling. Like, I mean, oh my god, and they said that the fucking CGI is getting worse. I mean, Clone Wars blocky design I didn't like, but I mean, like, you know, it has its charm. Rebels looks like some sort of 3D that was like in the early 2000s, man. It looks really bad. Yeah, you could say they're doing that on an artistic level. I don't care. It looks awful. What, did the Empire coming to fruition suddenly make everyone ugly? Or are you just saying only ugly people are evil? Have you seen the bad guys? They're all pale, pasty, ugly motherfuckers. While some could argue that the rebels are all pretty people, except for that alien big fucking thing. I don't know what he is, and I don't care to know what he is. Because I don't watch Rebels. And I'll never watch Rebels. You know, one day I might even break down and watch the Clone Wars all the way. I would never do that for Rebels, because Rebels doesn't fucking intrigue me 1 ounce. I got more angry in this than I thought I would. And I've kept this going for a lot longer than I thought I would. It's like, knowing, I guess, other people will hear this and understand, or at least listen to what I have to say, I guess kind of keeps me going. Whereas if you're just talking in an empty room, you feel like a crazy person. Knowing other people will eventually at least hear you kind of keeps the throat fucking pushing out words, even if it starts to hurt after a while, which it is. Fuck. And they're going to repeat things in the future. You watch and see. You know what? It might even be hard to see. But they're going to repeat things in the future that have already been done before. For instance, really easy. The Swarm War from Legends Extended Universe. Where the Keelix were Keelix are the ant-looking bug race that can use this pheromone they produce to make mostly bugs, other insect species join with them and become part of their hive mind, but it can and eventually does work on other organics like humans or fucking Twi'leks or whatever. That could easily be repeated someday in the future, where in some Star Wars book dealing with the new universe, blah blah blah, an insect race that swarms has a bunch of other giant insects that, like, basically kind of like, Starship Troopers, where they have mostly organic, like giant beetles or giant, like, centipede creatures that act as their, like, tanks in their armor. And just like hordes of bug people trying to kill people, they'll easily replicate that at some point. Sure, different situation, different cause, maybe different outcome. The point is, it's been done before. But you all don't care because you just want to see something new, quote unquote. But your point and your argument is moot when it's already been done before. You are not looking at something new, you're looking at something recycled, but maybe has a splash of something different in there. You can make that same argument for movies. But you know what? Movies don't have the arrogance to say that the making of this movie automatically destroys the existence of the other movie. Yeah, there are movies out there who probably say this canon is no longer what we're following, but they don't come right out and say, fuck you, this doesn't exist anymore. I mean, like with the new Superman Batman movie coming out, you can watch that, see the new Ben Affleck Batman, and not give a shit because they're not going to say, oh yeah, the old one may have happened, but they would never do that. They're not that stupid because you know what? Warner Brothers and DC are a comic book company. They know how that shit works. Disney just acquired Marvel and just said, hey, we can follow Marvel's example of just doing whatever the fuck we want with all the universes. Because Marvel is known for being the fucking epitome of high-class art and entertainment when it comes to their comic book heroes. They haven't needlessly murdered bunches of people for no reason. They haven't needlessly made all sorts of sexual innuendos and fan service to get, again, prepubescent and pubescent boys tantalized and fuck all for the story. I'm not going there, though. I will blatantly sit here and say I have not watched Guardians of the Galaxy, and I don't want to. Because I'm not going to spend my fucking money on Marvel movies. I'm tired of those, too. I'm not going to go see... I haven't even seen the first Avengers movie. I'm not going to go see the new one. I've not seen one Thor movie. I have not seen... oh, no. I apologize. I've seen the first Captain America only because of riff tracks. They're the only ones who made me break my own vow to not watch any Disney movies, to not watch any Marvel movies, because you know what? Those two companies have taken something that I loved, monopolized it, took all the heart out of it, and are purely marketing it to a fan base that is getting older and who could give shit all about my fucking opinion. Why the fuck would I have gone through all those years of defending the prequels, defending the extended universe against the purists that are the fucking original fanboys who might have liked, like, maybe the Thrawn trilogy, but then everything else that was garbage anyways? Fuck you. Why am I going to buy into a product that wants to once again make me, personally, feel like an asshole for liking the prequels and the extended universe? I've heard fans of this new movie, fans based off of a, 30-second fucking teaser? Okay, yeah, fuck you. Shove off, die in a fire. Fans of the new movie before it's even come out tell me that, oh man, if you just lean your head back, close your eyes, and listen to the trailer, it sounds like Star Wars. No shit! It sounds like Star Wars! It's a Star Wars commercial! How dumb and high on drugs are you? I'm supposed to buy into this new movie called Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, because it sounds like Star Wars. Holy fuck, guys. Star Wars sounds like Star Wars. Fucking put it on the internet now. This information needs to get out to the fucking public. Holy fuck. And this person needed to be high, because that was the dumbest argument I've ever heard in my life. Why you should like something. Oh my god, guys, Batman looks like Batman. I need to go see this movie. Oh my god. TIE fighters look like TIE fighters, I believe he even said. And the X-Wing looks like the X-Wing, but a little different. No, shit. I don't have eyeballs. I need to close my eyes and listen to that shit, man. Oh yeah, I can hear it. I can hear the great evil Sheev laughing at me right now. Sheev. And they gave Palpatine a first name. James Luceno did, but Disney signed off on it. You motherfuckers named him Sheev? Sheev Palpatine. S-H-E-E-V Palpatine. Sheev. Because it sounds like Shiva. What? What is that? Who is dumber? The fanboys or people who are writing the new material? Because they're getting their information from the fanboys. It sounds like Star Wars, guys. You gotta go see it. Oh, yeah, that movie, Shitfuck, the movie. It sounds like Lord of the Rings. I need to go watch it because it sounds like Lord of the Rings, and I need to be a fanboy. I don't give a shit. By the way, the new Hobbit movies, I like them all. And it's suffering the same thing, prequel syndrome. Oh god, those are horrible movies, but goddamn, the original Lord of the Rings are a lot better. They were. Doesn't make me not enjoy the Hobbit movies. Because it's the same argument. You can like ice cream or pizza. I can like both. Why the fuck not? I'm not going to allow you, a company in this situation with Disney, dictate to me what is and is not in existence within something you didn't create, you didn't patent, you didn't sell to me as a child, and you have no fucking mind control device to tell me what I can and cannot accept and can and cannot like. Go fuck yourselves. Go back to making your fucking little kiddie movies and you know what? That's offensive because little kids, if they like Disney movies, that's fine. They like Disney movies. I used to like Disney movies. Until I realized just how true people were when they said Disney was an evil fucking empire. No wonder they wanted Star Wars so badly. Like that fucking South Park episode where the Chinese government wanted to get fucking Star Wars rights because they're concerned Disney was gonna botch it. And you know what? They already are. Am I literally the only person who does not, never did, and never will like Han Solo? I've heard people, original trilogy fans again, and this is speaking to them, not necessarily him as a character, although they'll make a point, that the coolest character in the original trilogy was Han Solo. That was me dropping my glasses and needing to rub my eyes because of all the characters you had in the original trilogy, you fucking losers. Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, fucking Leia herself, Darth Vader, the Emperor, I mean, even Tarkin to a degree, or some of the Imperial officers that had more personality like Beers or Piet. Or, what was his name? Akbar, if you're like a military person, I don't know. If you like Java, I mean, or Boba Fett. There you go. You're gonna sit there and tell me Han Solo, the whiniest jerk on, I get it now. It just hit me. They like him because they're bro douches of the Star Wars universe who likes the broest, douchiest character in all of Star Wars. It was quite obvious in KOTOR 2, Atten Rand was supposed to be like the Han Solo of that story, not really. But you know what? Atten was so much of a more helpful, more likable, and even to a degree more honest character than Han Solo ever was. And yeah, the Legends universe kind of made him an even worse character, which is something I'll have to deal with because Legends is the only canon I ever will follow. So essentially, to me, the Star Wars movies ended at 6 and picked up with the extended universe. You know what? That's fine. But Atten Rand is a lot more like, well, Carthon Nassi, that wet noodle of a fucking character, is a lot more interesting than Han Solo. The smuggler with no name from SWTOR is a much more likable character than Han Solo. Harrison Ford's a great actor, but Han Solo's a shit fucking character. And Leia must have gotten a fucking bolt to the head to make her like him. Holy fucking hell. I mean, I would have rather seen that character who has some issues. I have issues with her too. I mean, she's really annoying. Especially in regards to her father. And I mean, I'm speaking more towards Legends, but it was kind of hinted in the movies. She has more daddy issues than any other character, even Luke. I would rather she ended up with Luke and like they hadn't been brother and sister. And that was the original intention. But then Lucas got info that Han was a much more liked character. I don't know why. Oh, man, goddamn. God, I'd rather the Exile and that had gotten together. At least, that would have been horribly corny, but it'd be a lot more approachable than Leia and Hamill. Especially since their children are awful too, but that's Legends. I'm not going to go there. I'll have to deal with that for the rest of my life. But you know what? Thank you, Disney, for giving legitimacy, giving power, giving authorization to all fan fiction writers out there, because what you have done, you have taken the Legends universe and have essentially said this is one great big fan fiction universe, and we're going to tell you the real story. Well, now you have just authorized and given legitimacy to any other fan fiction writer out there, so I can believe as much as one person's universe as I believe in fucking Legends. There's one fan fiction I'm reading right now that deals with, I'm not going to say the name or anything, so I'm not going to plug it, but it deals with Exar Kun coming back, his story, oh my god, coming back. There's all this shit going on, a different type of galactic civil war. I mean, the first part was a little but the second part is a lot better. The guy got a lot better at writing. I actually think they did change writers or something. I think Leia's probably going to end up with a different character than Han. I've read another story where that happened anyways. Way back in the day, she ended up with, some other guy. I can't remember. I mean, I can't remember all the made-up characters for that story, but she ended up with another guy. Liked him immensely a lot better. So I think I'm going to like this story. Especially since it seems like trying to make the Sith a little more likable, but the Jedi not seem as bad themselves. Whatever. The point being is that I'm enjoying fanfiction a little more lately, because now I can sit there and go, you know what? Fuck that shit from Legends, and fuck Canon anyways. So I'm going to believe in this story. So what Disney has done, while at the same time trying to tell you the real story, the true story of what happened in the Star Wars universe, with our janky-ass looking stormtroopers and our retarded looking fucking new villains. There's art out there, people. If you want to know what he looks like, he looks fucking stupid. I can like now whatever the hell I want, because Disney has opened the door to anyone having their own point of view on Star Wars. Yeah, you can argue to me, oh, you have that anyways, but you know what? Disney at some point is going to, and it's Disney, they hate when people take their products and try and market them as their own, and fanfiction writers don't even do that. Fanfiction has repeatedly tried to have repeatedly fought off people trying to take their stories down because of copyright infringement. Nobody cares. No one gives a shit what your opinion is, Disney. Fuck off. And I know people are going to write fan fictions for the new Star Wars universe. But I get the feeling a lot won't, and a lot will kind of stick with the old universe, because most fan fiction writers, at least today, have grown up with the extended universe. Maybe they'll dabble into it. I just won't read those. Again, I don't have to give them any attention. I don't have to pay them any mind. There are some fanfiction writers out there who have just seen the movies, never read an extended universe book, or played a game. And you know what? Their stories are fine. They mostly deal with Darth Vader becoming good again, but whatever. We all like a happy ending once in a while. I need to stop because this is going on way too long. The point being, the reasons I've spoken off for the last hour and going on 11 or 12 minutes are why I will never watch the new movies. I will never buy a new comic book. I will never buy a new game. I will never buy a poster, a sticker. I will never even buy a Legends comic book if it has the words Legends plastered onto it, because that's what Disney's doing now. They're just plastering this big old Legends sticker onto it now. If I'm going to buy something from Legends, I'm going to try my hardest to make sure it is a old edition, and give my money hopefully to some publishers from like Dark Horse or game developers who are not, at least at the time of that game's making, affiliated with Disney. But even then, I might just fucking torrent the shit, because obviously Disney doesn't give a fuck where the money goes for those anymore. Why the hell should I? Luckily, Wikipedia kind of has its head not in its ass, and it's like, alright, we'll split it up. Here's the legend shit. Here's the... it's kind of really stupid, but like the Disney wiki is trying to jam-pack a bunch of Star Wars shit onto their wiki, while at the same time you still have to look at Mickey and Goofy and all the dumb fucking cartoon characters in the fucking side panels of that wiki. Makes a lot of sense. That's a dumb thing to complain about. I'm just saying it looks really stupid. So I will always be able to enjoy Legends. Sure, it just stopped at one point. It just stops after the Anya, whatever her name is, solo character, killed the Darth guy who managed to destroy the entire One Sith Order. That was news to me. Sure, it stopped there. And the Old Republic is probably as much more as we're going to get from the old. Like, before the movie timeline, before people stop paying that any more attention, maybe they'll be allowed to finish that Dawn of the Jedi comic book series. That's pretty dumb. But then that just leaves room for fan fiction writers and fans to, like, same thing with Tolkien's universe of After Lord of the Rings. You can think whatever you want. Anything is open because it has not been talked about yet. It's not been done. You are always free and open to come up and see things as you want to see them, and not have some corporate suit asshole in some boardroom with projections and graphs telling what the fans do and do not want, because you pulled only the original trilogy fanboys what is and is not right for your new movies, for your new books, for your new games, for your new comic books, your new stickers and billboards and posters and soulless fucking corporate Star Wars janky bullshit. I've expelled a lot of anger in these last in this last hour and 15, or going on 15 minutes. So I'm Carl. I wish visitor Nick had been here. They seem like they might have had something to say. I figured I needed to make this because I needed to put something a little more special up on the Timpire as a I'm sorry for not posting anything in a while. Some of you have wanted to hear my very, very passionate opinions about this, and I figured why not. So I'm Carl. Not my real name, but it's the name I'm using. I'm sorry if I don't post anything in a while after this, but I got college. I feel sick right now at the moment of me making this. I'm generally lazy when I'm not in college because holy fuck, I'm tired. So I will try to get this uploaded, and also that other thing me and Visitor did late at night, which is kind of us talking random shit. I mean, it's funny. I mean, a lot of people haven't watched it, but I mean, it is funny. I'll try and get that up. And I'm posting new things on my old channel if you want to look at it. So, anyway, see y'all later.